Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bird Guy Games. I'm your host, Bird Guy. Today we're going to be talking about this game right here, Gaslands. This is going to be my first review style video. So this game I got into pretty recently. It's a pretty new release called Gaslands. It's distributed by Osprey War Games. And the designer is Mike Hutchison. That's kind of a hard name to say. So as you can see here, it's a post-apocalyptic vehicular combat. It's a very fun game. You can see I got some of my stuff built up here in the back. So it's one of the big interesting things about this game is that when you buy it, you get just this book right here. And the rest of this stuff back here, you basically build up yourself. So the pieces you use are things like Hot Wheels cars. Because it's a vehicular combat game, you use Hot Wheels designed for your Hot Wheels cars to be used as the vehicles. So that's the first reason. That's the first thing, and about this game. But it's kind of nice too because Hot Wheels cars are very cheap. It's only $1 each. You usually need about maybe 3 cars per team, so only like $3 to build a team. Pretty good. Now it is suggested that you do some modifications and painting to the cars, but you don't have to do it. There's some really cool other videos out there. I'll link some from, I believe it's the Game Terrain Engineer. I'll link some of his. He does some really nice stuff with these cars. And so that's one thing that makes it cheap, is all the pieces are just Hot Wheels cars. The next thing is, all you really need are some 6-sided dice. I got this can right here, or box of a bunch of them from my local game store for like $13, and it came with a ton of dice, more than enough for me to play. I've got this bigger dice here, which is helpful for keeping track of what round you're on, but it doesn't have to be a bigger dice, it can be any other type of die. So now one of the hardest things that's going to be to get a hold of are these skid dice that they have. I can show you what they look like as I talk about them. So these are 6-sided dice that have some special things, some special like symbols on them. As you can see, it's got shift, slide, and spin. Now these are a really important part of the game. So one way you can get this is the company that makes this. If you go onto the Gaslands website, which I'll also link down in the description, you can buy these dice. But if you don't want to pay for them, there's in the book, it has a grid on it that shows you, so there, right here, it shows you how a normal 6-sided dice could be used for this. A 1 represents a hazard, 2 spin, 3 slide, and 4 through 6 a shift. So there you go, you don't even need these. These I was able to print off of a Thingiverse post, which I will also link in the description in case you have access to a 3D printer. That's how I also got some of this terrain here, which is really simple stuff, just like cones and cement barriers. So just because of the way the game is played, though, it's a very flexible game. So things like cones, when you hit a cone, me and my friends didn't think it would be appropriate that you have to take damage, because you never see a vehicle take damage from a cone. So what we do is, with these cones, is if you're driving and you would run into a cone, you'd move to the end of your movement template, and then you'd pick that cone up and drop it, and then where it lands, that's just its new position. So it's kind of a fun thing that messes with the board, but then it doesn't mess with the vehicles too much, and they're fun just to scatter around. But then for some other terrain pieces here, so yes, it also does support Hot Wheels monster trucks and semi-trucks. But I've got this box of my terrain that I play this game with. Bring this forward and show you some of the terrain I have. It's very simple terrain, so if you're worried about terrain, you really don't need to be, because I've already released a video showing how I made these like trees here, and I also have showed before I just grabbed some rocks. That's all I use for my terrain, is just these simple trees that I built and some rocks. And then I also use my 3D printed pieces. Alright, so let's get on to some of the other pieces needed for this game. So I'll go ahead and open up my box. In here I have some little tokens that I 3D printed to represent ammo. You wouldn't have to use things like that. You could use coins, You could use little stones that is used in a lot of games and things like that. So we're now going to move on to movement templates. So here are the movement templates. Let me just move those back up there. So here are the movement templates. These are quite simple. There's a good amount of them, but again, a reason the price for this game. It's only $15 for this book. And then these pieces you can just print off their website. I printed them on a little piece of cardstock just to help, so that can be helpful. If you do want nicer pieces though, you can buy them off of their website. They have them in acrylic. But we'll now go through the different, real quickly just move through the different types of movement tokens that they have. So they have a short straight, medium straight, and long straight. They have multiple different types of turns. They have a gentle turn, a turn, hard, and a hairpin. And then they have a veer and a swerve. And they also have this small template. And then there's also a large template. And there it is. And a large template. Those are used for attacks. And then the final thing they have is the slide template. So I'm going to do a real quick walk you through how movement in this game works. So, first before I walk you through that, let me show you what a card for a car would look like. So this is the card for my semi-truck back there. Complete Destruction, driven by Move Over. So that is classified as a war rig. This is very simple. This one here was printed off of their online team builder. But if you don't have access to a computer or a printer or anything like that, they also, this is in the back of the book, you can copy these or you can get these online as well. They're blank cards, and then you can just use the book to write things in for that. So the way these cards work, I'll walk you through this real quick, is you start with your hull points. Each box is 1 hull point, so the war rig has 20 hull points. You have some boxes up here with things like your handling, weight, crew, maximum gear, and whether or not they're activated. And then you have the weapons down here. This one has a 125mm cannon, a ram, and then they all get handguns. And it gives you the facing, type, range, dice that you get to roll, ammo, and whether or not crew is required. So, or like how many special crew rules. Then you also have special rules and perks. I'll just show you guys those pretty quickly. And then also hazard tokens there at the bottom that you might need. So, let's say I'm going to, so that's what a card looks like. I'm going to grab a different one here just for this demonstration. We're going to grab this one right here, Grave Support, that is usually represented by this vehicle right here. So, to set up, first thing is to set up a card. I usually just grab some 6-sided dice. I put the number in for their hull points so I can keep track of that. You put 1 set on 1 at their maxed gear. And then you can either use tokens like I said, these, or dice to represent their ammo. So after setting up your car, when you're going through your turn, you can, I'll walk you through an example turn here. So because I am at gear 1, which all cars start off with, I can only use movement tokens that have the number 1 right here on the gear. So like I couldn't use this long token because you have to be in gear 5 and 6. So a good one to usually start out with is a medium token. So you place the token in front of them, and then what you get to do is you look at their handling. This one's handling here is 4, so you take 4 skid dice, and then you get to roll them. But this template here, because I'm in gear 1, gives me a free shift, so that's where another dice can come in handy. Just put it on shift, set that there, and then you roll your dice, and you can use those accordingly, and then you would move it to the end of the template. So that's kind of how those would work, the templates, cards, and stuff like that. So that's the function and pieces overview of the game. And now I'm going to walk through, now we're going to look at what I like about the game and things I don't like about the game, and then we'll go into strategy. So we'll move on to those next. Alright guys, so back here for my opinions on the game, but before I get to that real quick, I wanted to show you guys these. These are gates that I built for the game. Really simple, just cut out a paper, just put a little square there so you can kind of see what direction you're supposed to go, and then just a little long straight. I've got 4 of those. One that's a finish line, one that I have divisions on to help when setting up as the starting line. So now onto my opinions for this game. I really like this game a lot. It is a good game. I like how cheap it is. Easy $15 for just this book here. The book is really well written. It helps you understand the rules a lot. The pieces, even though you have to print them, are very easy to use and understand. And I really like the way it uses Hot Wheels cars because I've always wanted a game for Hot Wheels cars. So overall, this is a pretty good game. The cards are really nice, especially these big ones here, because they can tell you what page numbers you might need to look at for different things. I think my biggest complaint with this game is that if you set it up, depending on how you set it up, like recently I was doing a 3-person game and it was set up pretty large, it can take a while, this game can. And then there's sometimes when you feel, there are some rules that are a little bit confusing, like I still haven't figured out all the rules with like the perks here on the bottom of the card. Things like live fast and pinball and stuff like that. I haven't figured all those out yet. And then also audience votes are a little confusing. Haven't figured out those yet. So if you have any helpful pointers or whatever, you can leave those in the comments. I'm still working on figuring those out, and I hope to figure them out soon. But other than that, I really like this game. Would definitely highly suggest it. Especially if you guys have, like, I have a local game store I like to go to with my friends. And what's nice about this game is it's really easy to find people to play because I got some friends there. So all I have to do is I have 3 teams that I bring with me all the time. It's my Formula Race team, which is 2 Formula cars in a buggy, 2 performance cars in a buggy. I have my Monster Truck team, which is Grave Digger and a buggy which I call Grave Support. And I have my semi-truck team, which is just which I call Complete Destruction, and it's just the semi-truck here. So with these 3 teams, what I can do is it's pretty simple to explain the rules to someone else. So I can explain the rules, give them one of these 3 teams, and then we can be off and playing, which is really fun. It's a like I said, pretty fast game to learn. I suggest before you play your first game, watch some videos online. I'll try and see if I can find any to link. And then definitely read through the book the entire way. I'm going to hopefully be doing a playthrough of Gaslands pretty soon on this channel, so subscribe if you're interested in getting a notification when that comes out. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to say about Gaslands. It's a very good game, distributed by Osprey Games, made by Mike Hutchison. Very good game. It's got a small community, so I'm hoping with these videos I can maybe help grow the community just a little bit. If you guys feel this video deserved your subscription, go ahead and subscribe. If you don't feel like it deserves your subscription, that's okay. I thank you for watching till the end. If you feel like it deserves a like, you can give it one of those. If not, again, it's not a big deal. Share with your friends if you think that they'd be interested in this game as well. And hope to see you guys later. See ya. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you're interested in looking at some more videos, you can click right up here. I'll see you guys in the next video.